welcome to sunny San Francisco and one of the coolest movie studios on the planet. I'm here at Pixar to talk about their latest feature. Now, I've seen Monsters, Inc., and I thought I knew a fair bit. Turns out, I don't know squat, so I'm going back to Monsters University for Monsters University. Back in 2001, a monster hit was upon us with the release of Monsters, Inc., which introduced us to the world of Monstropolis, lovable pals Mike and Sully, and their day job of scaring children to power their city. Since then, fans have been screaming for more, and Pixar have finally listened, rewinding us back to Monsters University, which charts the beginnings of the duo way before they were incorporated, to find out how the scares and the laughs began.
We'll be ready.
So Mike and Sully return, or unreturn, because this is a prequel that sees the duo meet at college for the very first time. But as it turns out, they don't initially see eye to massive round eye.
James B. Sullivan.
Mike Wazowski.
First of all, we meet Little Mike. Little Mike is like 5 or 6 years old on a field trip with his school class. And he goes to Monsters Incorporated, the scare factory, because already he knows this would be something cool and great. And he makes his way into an actual episode of somebody going through a portal to scare a little girl, I believe it was. And he watches the whole thing. And now he knows what he wants to do. He wants to be a scare.
I'm gonna be a scare!
The character I play, Sully, he's got kind of a chip on his shoulder, and I think he thinks that the world owes him his position in life just because he's naturally scary.
Listen, it was quite delightful meeting you and whatever that is, but if you don't mind, I have to study my scaring.
You don't need to study scaring, you just do it.
Really? I think there's a little more to it than that.
And he doesn't have to really work at it. It's just something that comes to him.
Okay, I'll lift the bed, you grab the pig. Ready?
What?
One,
No.
2,
No.
3.
No.
Don't let go. Careful, he's a biter.
Yeah!
Whoa, whoa, wait. Whoa! I got him.
Uh-oh. When two different types of people come together, and they're coming from totally different places, and they don't like each other much. But oddly enough, later they kind of give each other what they need.
I know. You're a princess and I'm just a stable boy.
Mom, what are you doing?
Your grubby paw was in my bed!
Were you kissing my hand?
No. And what about you with all your shedding?
I don't shed.
Really? Excuse me.
I just want to get my
But
stuff.
you just... Let me get my stuff!
First morning in the house.
That's going in the album.
I think Mike is jealous of Sully because he's got this size, this natural ability. It comes easy to him. He's a feisty little guy with a chip on his shoulder, even though he has no shoulders. And I think that's part of it, too. He's got to work a lot harder than James B. Sullivan has to.
Scariness is the true measure of a monster. If you're not scary, what kind of a monster are you?
Dean Hardscrabble has a reputation of being just the scariest scarer ever. And she, quite rightfully, has become the dean of the university.
It's my job to make great students greater, not make mediocre students less mediocre. That is why, at the end of the semester, there will be a final exam. Fail that exam, and you are out of the scaring program.
But at the same time, you know, she's simply someone who has standards. She has to.
The Scare Games! A super intense scaring competition!
You could totally die.
And it's worth it!
If you lose, you will leave Monsters University.
Pixar movies always have something in it for adults, so you can watch it and be satisfied and laugh as an adult.
That is a good point!
And at the same time, making a movie that is utterly satisfying for little kids.
Just reach deep down and let the scary out!
Tonight we party like scarers!
She was an associate producer on the original Monsters, Inc. He was a storyboard artist on Cars. Now they are producer and director of one of the most anticipated Pixar movies ever. It's time to meet Corey Ray and Dan Scanlon. Dan, Corey, so great to be here, not only just outside San Francisco, but here at Pixar talking to you. Thanks for having me.
Cool, absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so it's 12 years since the original Monsters, Inc. And I know people have been clamoring for another movie involving Mike and Sully for so long. So I guess the big question is, why now?
We would never make a sequel or a prequel unless we had a great idea.
Right.
It just took us a while to get one.
Yep.
So I think that's kind of why.
Yeah, we hope it's worth the wait.
How long, then, having made Monsters, Inc., were discussions floating around about making this? I mean, were there other iterations of what it could be? Like, sort of like years ago, was there talk of a sequel?
I mean, we had talked about sequel ideas, but really once the prequel idea came up and we thought that would be a great way to learn more about Mike and Sully and Monster College, come on, it was just like, that's where we want to go.
Yeah.
Do you pledge your souls to the Uzma Kappa Brotherhood?
Do you swear to keep secret all that you learn here?
No matter how horrifying!
Will you take the sacred oath of the...
For crying out loud.
Sweetie, turn the lights on while you're down here. You're going to ruin your eyes.
Mom, we're doing an initiation!
One of the big issues with making a prequel is sort of overcoming that idea of you know where the characters end up. So it's got to be something that, you know, delivers above and beyond just they get from A to B.
Absolutely, and that's one of the hardest things about a prequel we discovered early on. But what was interesting about this movie is we tried to use the prequel to our advantage. We need to tell a story where knowing the end is helpful. So we're telling a story where we know things aren't going to work out the way Mike and planned. And so that was very interesting to us. Well, we want to make a movie where we know things don't work out for a character. And the question becomes, where do they go from there? How do they take it?
In terms of one of the new characters that I'd love to talk about, I mean, on a personal level, Dean Hardscrabble. What do you think of Dean Hardscrabble? Is she one of your favorite new characters to the Monsters world?
Absolutely. I love that we get to see a great scare, like one of the best. And then the challenge became from a design point of view is, well, if you're saying she's the greatest scare, then she has to be really scary. So what are those elements? And it was a really good day when we came across the idea of this centipede thing, because I don't care who you are, that's horrifying. And then when we cast Helen Mirren was kind of the next level, where we realized, oh my gosh, she's not a villain, she's a teacher. She's intense, she's maybe a little, has an ego that's run away a little bit, but she is still a teacher. And so Helen found a way to make her more psychologically disturbing and intimidating.
There's talk of how she was a male character, and then in 4 weeks, which, having heard how long it takes to animate things, in 4 weeks she went from male to female. And I was like, oh, was that because Helen Mirren came on board? It was like, no, we just decided it was a female character. Now, first of all, how hard do you like to work? And be scared? And B, what was the thinking, and how come it happened so late in the day that happened?
When you know it's right for the film, it doesn't matter what the cost is, and the crew knows it. I mean, as soon as we made that decision, everybody, all the art department, the character department, who had to then build a new character, throw away the old one, everyone got behind it because they knew that it was the right thing for the film.
We realized we wanted to open up the world of Monsters, Inc. at every chance that we could, and we realized we're missing a great opportunity to see an awesome female scare, something we just never got a chance to see in the first film. And so that was a big part of the decision. We realized, oh, we've sort of gone down this road with this sort of crusty Dean character that we've seen before. Well, we could have this really great, awesome female scare.
On a personal level, as you said, you started working at Pixar when Monsters, Inc. Was just being made. What does it feel like for you to have started here at that period and now being directing your first Pixar feature and also it to be in the same universe as Monsters, Inc.?
It's great. I mean, when I saw Monsters, Inc. for the first time, I saw the scare floor and I thought, it looks like Pixar a little bit. Like, there was something about it that I thought, it looks like the atrium here. I feel like I work at Monsters Incorporated. So I've always felt this connection to the movie. So to be able to tell a story with those characters and to be entrusted with those characters is this great bookend, this great dream come true.
And guys, it has been a pleasure talking to you. Congratulations,
Absolutely.
Boom. Nice one. That is it for part one, but do not fear, unless you're a child with a monster at the end of your bed, in which case, completely understandable, because I will be back in a moment where I'm going to start taking my lessons at Monsters University to see if I can graduate. Stay there. Welcome back to San Francisco and Pixar Studios, the proud owners of 24 Oscars and a global box office of over $7.5 billion. They earned that by bringing movie magic to the screen in a way we've never seen before. And now, I'm going to try and learn how to do it. It's time for class. Right, this is my first lesson of the day, English, and I'm going to be taught exactly how the genesis of a story works, which sounds grand, but to simplify that for me, hopefully, is Kelsey. How you doing, man?
Good, good. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
So, with most movies, you start with a script. That's the genesis of a movie. It's the script. But that's slightly different because of the storyboarding process, am I right?
Yeah, here at Pixar, a lot of people think, like, as a story artist, you just come in your first day, like, here is the script, go draw it. And that's definitely a part of our job, but there's a lot that leads up to that. The first thing we do is we get together in our story room, which is kind of this big war room.
Who's in there, then?
So, yeah, typically, it's the director, the story supervisor, so myself, and then the writer. In our case, we had writers. We had 2 writers who actually wrote on the original film, so they came back.
And this is where you actually hammer out the nuts and bolts of what the story of Monsters University was going to be. Because before this, it's nothing, it's an idea. We want to do a prequel to Monsters, Inc.
Exactly. You always want to build your film from a foundation up, not get too caught up in the details. Like, I feel like with storyboarding, what we're doing is creating a blueprint for the film, for everyone else to follow.
Hey! I'm Art, New Age philosophy major. Excited to live with you and laugh with you and cry with you. Thought you might like to keep a dream journal.
Well, I won't lie, I'd love to work at Pixar as well. So if you can maybe allow me to draw a character from Monsters University, and then take a look at it, and then we'll just start talking the contract almost immediately, I imagine.
Of your employment?
Make space on the wall.
We'll see.
This is going to be big.
I'll help you through it.
All right, brilliant.
All right. Okay. So, how about Mike? You want to learn?
Yeah, I want to.
do Mike.
Yeah. All right. Good.
Okay. So, the first thing with Mike.
Yep.
Is everybody thinks he's just a circle. So everybody thinks, like, oh, I just draw a circle, but he's a little bit more complicated than that. Rather than the circle, like, it comes to just a little bit of a point at the top.
So I don't know how
usually
close
you
I
want
was
to stop
just drawing a circle.
Yeah,
so.
That would have been your first mistake right off the bat.
Okay,
so there you go.
Kind of like that.
Yeah, that's good, that's good.
And then sort of flatter it.
There you go. So the next thing you want to do, Mike Wazowski's not a scary monster, so he's got 2 little tiny little baby horns on the top of his head. So 2 little triangles, like boop, boop. Right there at the top. There you go. And so now he's got a big round eye. So this is kind of like a round eye.
Okay, so I can draw a circle now.
All right, here we go. You're not a machine. You're not a machine. Let's put a big smile on his face.
Okay.
A nice big smile. So just here we go. Yeah, he's a happy monster. Worked really hard to be at Monsters University, so big smile.
I've got more space.
It's okay. It's okay. You know what you can do? Have his mouth be open.
Okay.
So sketch that. All right. And now let's get some feet on him. There you go. So you might have two little triangles kind of on the side of his body there. Just kind of sticking off. There you go. There you go. And then let's have him like waving at us. So do the arm kind of up. Have it taper towards that hand too, just like the feet. Great.
Yeah, I've definitely done that.
There you go.
That's what I've done.
There you go. There's your Mike Wazowski.
Is that a joke?
Have I passed?
I'll give you a grade. How about that?
Yeah, okay.
I need a red pen. Let's see here. So I'm gonna give you a grade on this one. There you go. There you go.
I passed.
An A+.
Boom. The reason I'm doing this is because my next class is dramatic arts, where I'm going to be learning about how to bring a character to life. And my tutor for this class is Scott Clark, supervising animator on Monsters University. I won't lie, this looks like the most technical class that I'm going to be doing so far. Is it?
Basically, as an animator, my job is to bring everything to life. So once you know the software, all those other acting classes that you have are important too. We've got a scene here that I animated from Monsters University just to set it up before this one shot. The scene is these guys are all at a party, and Sullivan is kind of not participating. He's a little bit of a wallflower. And Squishy, this little guy, is having the time of his life. He's never stayed up this late before.
I'm undeclared, unattached, and unwelcome pretty much everywhere but here.
This is the first creation of the movie. The characters are all there. It looks crude because they're just kind of moving things around kind of like kids would do with action figures when they play. It's just basic blocking. And this is what it looks like when it comes to me, the animator. Now I have to bring this to life along with all of my other colleagues that are going to animate all these other characters.
Okay.
So,
who were you focusing on mainly?
I was animating Sullivan.
Guy the Sullivan? Like the famous Sullivan?
It took me about 3 weeks just to do Sullivan in this one shot.
I can't believe it! That is crazy!
Wow, so it took you 3 weeks to do that?
Because I've got to get away from my computer and I've got to figure it out. I've got to dance and move and film myself and look at clips of other people dancing and go, well, how does this guy move?
What's happening? I don't get it.
This is the final version here.
Yeah.
So now he's trying to be a little cooler. A lot of us that don't feel comfortable dancing, we don't move our feet. And he's just doing a cool guy thing. He's trying to be a little cooler.
As an animator, must be just such an exciting film to animate because you have all these different creatures, all different shapes, sizes, numerous limbs, tentacles. This must just be a kind of dream job where you're going, I can kind of go anywhere with this.
It's fun because they're all caricatures of us, so we get to kind of play with that, you know, it's fun. My favorite character is Professor Dean Hardscrabble.
Yeah.
Helen Mirren, her performance, as an animator, you get that performance and everything you need to know as an actor is in the voice. And you can hear it in her breathing. I mean, it's amazing.
It's one you either have or you have not.
After Helen Mirren does her recording of her voice, of the lines for the character, do you then animate after that? Or have you done it all beforehand and she just adds her voice at the end?
No, it's always the voice first for us, and then we animate to the voice. And that way we can hear the breath or the life in the voice.
Based on this interview, my next question is, have I passed dramatic arts?
I think you might need to work on dancing, though.
Yeah, okay. But if I put some time in, it still counts as a pass, right?
Yeah.
Boom!
You're in.
I love it. Yes! What I learned from my time here, though, is that the campus is a fairly scary place where you don't so much need to worry about a dog eating your homework as much as a monster eating a dog eating your homework. But, just for you, we have a survival guide for how to best treat your time at Monsters Uni.
Welcome to Scaring 101.
If you don't turn up, you won't get the grades. But don't just take it from me. Ask Mike Wazowski.
Hey!
The things you have to know are the things you really should know when you enter any university is be on time, don't miss too many classes.
I can't be late on the first day!
Showing up counts for a lot.
Okay, it's a bit of an obvious one, but if you're not scary, you've probably enrolled at the wrong university.
If you're in the Scarers College, you know, you have to really find the scariest part of your personality. That's what it's all about.
I'm gonna scare circles around you this year.
Oh, yeah!
Join a good fraternity.
You want your state of Chi material, freshman?
Hey!
No.
No.
He's an Omega Howl guy.
Back off. We saw him first.
No way!
Joining a good frat house is vital if you want to survive on campus. So make sure you get in with the cool kids to raise your social standing.
You might want to hang out with someone a little more your speed. They look fun. Want to join Uzma Kappa?
We have cake.
Come on!
We know going to college is a scary proposition, but if you put in the effort, you're bound to become a high achiever.
You're there to work. I mean, those are things I remember my mom always used to say to me. Remember, you're there to work, dear.
Work hard, but also find your own inspiration.
I should hope you're all properly inspired.
So it was time for the final exam.
I'm in this one. I'm in this one.
And two of the best scarers in the business were on hand to grade me.
I can't believe it.
So I don't want to blow my own trumpet, but I have passed all my classes with flying colours. But it comes down to this, my final exam. I have to produce a roar scary enough to see me graduate from Monsters University. Here we go. Wish me luck, Sully. Let's do this.
All right, give it your best shot, Alex.
Come on, Alex.
Roar!
Yeah.
How was that?
Keep working.
All right. Here we go. One final roar to graduate from Monsters University. If you forget about the cough at the end, pretty good, right?
This is nice.
Okay.
Yes! Freeze frame! My time as a student is complete. I'm now going to go out into the world to use my degree and make children scream. But it's your turn to enroll in Monsters University from here at Pixar Studios in San Francisco. Goodbye.